His column posted last Wednesday was entitled, "Are These Tom Brady's Final Days with the Patriots?" Question mark. It was a rhetorical question, the answer to which will be provided right now by Tom Curran back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Tom?
I'm not telling. Don't put me up. Don't you sell me down the river that way, Richard.
Well, I mean, it's it. I read because I read your stuff, Tom. You said it sure sounds like it is. Final days with the Patriots.
As I wrote, it needs a radical course change to avert what appears to be a divorce, and it could still be an amicable divorce. It could be just simple irreconcilable differences. We go each other's ways, or it could get ugly. But it does certainly seem that way unless there's a radical course change.
Well, I mean, I assume losing to the Kansas City Chiefs at home is not the radical course change that we're looking for. What does an amicable divorce look like, Tom, where they just say, we're both done here? I mean...
yeah, they say, look, Tom, you want $27 million, which is highly reasonable since Jimmy Garoppolo, for instance, makes $27 this year. We paid you $23 in 2019. We paid you, 15 or 16 with incentives that weren't even able to come close to hit 2018. You want to get paid more, we're just not going to do it. I'm going to sink that kind of money into it. And Brady says, yeah, I understand. I felt that might be coming. The whole 43 thing's bugging you, isn't it? Well, I'm going to go someplace else or at least see what else is out there. And once he finds that, Rich, and it's the right situation, which I think he could find, he'll go to it. I really don't think retirement is anywhere in his sights. And again, I'm speaking of my perspective. No one's telling me how it's going to play out. I'm just watching the way things are adding up. They're not making predictions that this is what's going to happen, but the radical course change, that's informed opinion.
Well, then let's continue pulling on this thread. What is the right scenario for him? I mean, give me when he goes shopping and some team raises their hand. What is the right scenario for him that is actually feasible come March?
And if I can just take the liberty, I think probably people are sitting out there and saying, how did it get to this? And I think it got to this beginning in 2014, before I get to the scenario.
Yes.
When you are the Patriots and you try and have a succession plan you put in place with Jimmy Garoppolo, you draft him in 2014, a year after you signed Brady to a contract that brought him through 2017 and his 40-year-old season. And Robert Kraft said at the time, you know what? This was an quote-unquote elegant way of doing things. I did it as a fan. I don't want him to ever be anyplace else. They've done all they can and more in their minds, to make sure that he retires a Patriot. If he wants to keep playing for a certain amount of money and a certain amount of the salary cap at 43, and the Patriots want to start to reboot and move on, then that's why the split would happen. Amicable, not amicable. I would hope it would be the former, just for the way things have gone, but that often is difficult to have happen. What would be ideal? Honestly, Rich, knowing who he is since he's been in the public consciousness for 20 years and more, he wants to be able to prove something to somebody who thought that he couldn't do something, that he was unable to continue at a level. And that's why I keep coming back to the Miami Dolphins as a possibility. It's got your Michigan man friend, Stephen Ross, in charge. It's got Jerry Shaplinski as a quarterback's coach and Chad O'Shea as your offensive coordinator and Brian Flores as the head coach. It's got defensive personnel on the other side. It's certainly got a culture, I think, that's being instilled this year. So there or Los Angeles would be the two prime places. But again, I don't think they're even debating at this juncture where he might land.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.